52, something like that. So listen to this. I went to, so Boom recovered for me last week. I went to Buffalo for an MRI. I fucked up my knee playing football 2 Saturdays ago now. And I knew when I did it that I tore the ACL. I didn't realize how much damage I'd done to other bits of the structure, but I knew for sure I tore the ACL. How did I know? I think I can't remember if I said this on this show or if I said it on some other show, but I made a reckless cut with the ball in my hand. My foot was far enough out in front of me and far enough to the side of me that not only did I hear the snap of the ligament, but I also saw the knee buckle, my own knee buckle in front of me. So that was not pretty. And one of the things here in Canada that you have to put up with is imaging weights. The weight for orthopedic surgery is not that bad, but the weight for imaging is brutal. And so I went to Buffalo for the MRI on Monday, and it was an outstanding experience. I went there, got the MRI, came home with the results, saw my doctor the next day. It is an ACL tear. It doesn't look like there's much other damage. If there is, it's just mild stuff that can be repaired once I'm under the knife anyway. So trying to get that surgery done. Now here's where the fun part starts. I won't dox, but I went out for beers on Friday with 2 guys. One of them is a guy who I hope can help me accelerate my surgery scheduling time, thanks to his connections. And I just want to thank him for his help, and obviously thank the both of them for coming out to meet me for beers on Friday at the Collins in Dundas. We had a great time, Len. We drank for probably 5 hours. And at the end of it, went through the park with my dog off his leash and watched him run around for half an hour with another tall boy, which was nice. I didn't do much on Saturday, but just wanted to thank those guys for coming out. It was a great time. Next time we do a meetup of some kind, maybe in September or something, I'll put out a wider all points bulletin. But these guys actually hung around after the CBP dry January.
Wait. So let's go back. The wait time. So you got it right away done.
Yeah. In Buffalo.
US.
Yeah.
Here, what's the approximate
6
time?
months.
6 months.
Yeah.
And that's brutal.
Yeah.
I could tell you there's one thing even more brutal than that.
What?
And waiting for a fucking node to sync. I'm telling you right now, I have 2 fucking nodes waiting, just one right here. It's a piece of shit computer. This is taking forever to do.
No.
And I have one upstairs that's better than a piece of shit computer, slightly better than a piece of, and it's almost done. That is the fucking worst. Holy fuck. I can't stand not having a node. I don't know what it is. I feel fucking lost without it.
Oh,
that is
man.
worse. That is the fucking worst. It takes, and you know what it is a result of? It's a lot of this spam nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
The last year and a half, so somewhere in the beginning of 2024, end of 2023, the sync process takes forever. It goes nice and quick up until about then, and then just it hits a wall. The spam causes it just to fucking take forever. It's pathetic. It's too bad. That's a wait, Joey.
It is a long time. So anyway,
yeah, well, we're talking a week.
I don't know if you know. Obviously, you don't know. When you go to Buffalo, they give you the results right away in a report and your images. So funny, I ran my images through Grok to see what Grok thought about the injury, and it picked up on everything right away, which I thought was pretty fascinating, kind of neat. I mean, I think knee MRIs are pretty straightforward. There's not really much to look at there. It's your tibia, your tendons, your sort of like patellar tendon, and lateral medial meniscus, MCL, PCL, LCL, ACL, all that stuff. So yeah, very cool. I highly recommend that to anybody who needs an MRI. It was like $800 all in. So, you know, if you're a Bitcoiner, I can't think of a better way to spend a bit of your stack if that's what the position you find yourself in. So it was worth it. I think I would do it again. I hope I don't have to do it again, but I would do it again if I needed it. That's for sure.
All right. Department of Downward Revisions.
Love it. We talked about, listen, we called these guys that last year or the year before.
No, you called them that. This is the first time I'm actually saying those words. I've never said it before.
Yeah.
So this is not just a Biden thing, right? This news absolutely tanked the markets, not just traditional markets, but fucking Bitcoin took a dive as well, which is a great buying opportunity for people that got in. If not, it's okay. Still cheap. Anyways, this happened. They revised these numbers, the non-farm payroll. Trump, knee-jerk reaction, right? What do you do? Fire somebody, right? Like right away, fire. So when this happens, there's going to be severance costs, right? You're not just firing them and they get nothing. And I don't know if this person, this Erica Mick, whatever, is responsible for this.
Somebody's head has to roll, but yeah, I don't know.
This has been going on forever.
Yeah,
right. This is not just.
I knew you were going to say this. I have some data on this. We'll talk about it. But go ahead.
This happened last year, and a lot of people was they doing it to pump up Biden last year? I don't know. These revisions have been going on for a long time. I have no idea. You know what? To be perfectly honest, I don't give a shit. I just laugh at what's going on. I just laugh at the reaction to this. People, 1 minute everything is okay, the next minute everything's on fire. You got to start selling and start liquidating shit. Like paper hands everywhere. I love it. And the funny thing is, 3 days later, at least with respect to Bitcoin, I have no idea what actual markets. We're basically where we started, right? Like nothing has changed. It's just another day, another dollar. A wonderful day, you know.
Yeah.
Like get the fuck. Like this shit. It just Trump. I love him because for this respect, he's just always knee-jerk reaction. Got to do something. Got to do something. It may not be the best thing. It's just fun to watch. Right? They're not talking Epstein. We don't talk about this. Tunnels being dug. We don't talk about this. Like all these things that should fucking matter. They don't talk like this war that's happening in the Middle East. It's quieted down. Nobody's talking about it. But this is the biggest thing. Let's fucking do something. Like it's almost like they're trying to give us something else to look at, some distraction, just something else to keep us busy. I'm not busy. I don't fucking care about this. I do not fucking care.
I'm going to pretty strongly disagree with some of that. And I just want to point out a couple of things here, right? The crux of the situation is whether or not the data being collected and shared is being done is the methodology one that opens itself up to political bias is the question. And the media, of course, is wetting the bed, screaming into the pillow because Erica Bedfart or whatever her name is was fired. And, you know, we'll talk a bit about her in a sec. But I just want to point out, okay, this is the same media that in 2019 and 2020 tried to get the Federal Reserve to play hardball with Trump. Do not cut, no matter how bad things get. Don't enable Donald Trump were the headlines in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal. And then in 2023, the headlines were the Federal Reserve should cut rates. Joe Biden's doing the best he can with the cards he's been dealt. It's time to cut. It's time to cut. The media is full of shit. The data is political. I'll talk a bit about inflation data, and then I'll move to some of the Bureau of Labor Statistics stuff. I didn't look up the inflation data for this show, but I did look at it for Around the Corn last week. Inflation data, specifically CPI data in the States, has obviously come under a lot of scrutiny in the last little while. And why not? It drives a media coverage cycle, basically 24, 48 hours, if not longer. It drives tons of press conferences around the White House and sometimes from the president, him or herself, himself, I guess, in every case. I don't have to play politically correct with that. And not to mention, Len, you know, every single sort of retail investor now looks to see if rates are coming down before they decide whether or not they buy stocks, buy Bitcoin, buy a house, buy a car, refinance, like all these things are contingent now on rates. Whether they should be or not is a different story, but this seems to be the lever on which things are moving or against which things are moving. The CPI data before COVID included somewhere between an 8 and a 10%, what we'll call, for the sake of clarity on the show, guesswork. About 8% to 10% of the prices they wanted month to month, quarter to quarter, are generally unavailable for some reason or another. Either they can't gather or something has changed. There's been an adjustment. There's been a change in ingredients, a change in methodology, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Since COVID started, that number has jumped up to 30%. So 30% of the CPI data now is basically just guessing. The technical term, I think the term that the single monocle crowd would use is forecasting, or
no, it's throwing a fucking dart on a wall.
Hang on. Len, I agree. Let me keep going. So this is the term they would use. I would call it guessing. And when you have guessing, you open yourself up to political bias. We've seen that. Okay. We saw it during the Biden administration. We saw it a lot during COVID, and you can't tell me we didn't see it during Trump 1. For sure. And by the way, it was encouraged, supported, and expected during Trump 1 because everyone wanted that guy out. Okay, sure. Now, The BLS data is interesting because I think what people are getting wrong here is fairly simple once you lay it out, but it's not really intuitive when you look at the story. He fires the BLS data chief or whatever she is. She's the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He fires her because he says the numbers are fake and they're trying to make him look bad. What I think is actually happening here is a little different. The numbers were revised downward from 2 months ago, I think, significantly. The largest downward revision since at least 2009. Some places you see it's the largest downward revision in 50 years. Now, data collection has changed a lot in 50 years, and this is survey-based data, and these things change all the time. The collection methodology changes all the time, and the participation rate changes all the time. So let's say it's just to be safe and on the conservative side, not the political conservative side, but the, situation conservative side. We'll say since 2009, that was the biggest downward adjustment. Now, a lot of people will say, well, he doesn't want that adjustment because it makes the economy look worse than it is. That's not the problem. The problem is that downward adjustment costs him 2 rate cuts because those 2 meetings, the Federal Reserve, and they do this every meeting. Jerome Powell gets up there and says, we are data dependent. We look at these things month to month, quarter to quarter, meeting to meeting. The meetings are live and we review these things before we make a rate decision. The data he's relying on is always wrong. There's no doubt about that. There's always revisions. Sometimes it's 0.1%, sometimes it's 0.5%, but it's always in that ballpark. It's been in that ballpark for a long time. The question is, why did 2 of the biggest revisions come when Trump was the loudest about rate cuts and firing the Federal Reserve chairman after the meetings where he wanted the cuts concluded? And now there's a break in August for the story to cool down. That's why.
About this is
that's why he fired her. Now hang on.
Yeah,
The data is difficult to collect for sure. I don't think it's all BS because some of it is payroll data. Like when you look at ADS data, that's payroll. That's real data. That's money going into people's accounts. That's people with jobs. That's hours worked. That's how stuff like GDP per capita is collected. That's good data. The non-farm payrolls is a different set of data. That's survey-based. That's tough. And I think that people outside of the Bitcoin space for the first time now are looking at a lot of this data collection and going, this data might not be that good, actually. And we got to start looking at where they're getting the data, how they're getting the data, and most importantly, who at the Bureau of Labor Statistics is interpreting these data sets and making the revisions. That's the thing they got to start talking about. If you're in Bitcoin, you don't care that much about this. It's annoying because you've been saying, like you just said now, that the data is, fake.
I know.
Lies,
I just
spun.
don't care. So all this really is. I just want to just cut to the point here. Is this fucking fiat? It really is just fucking
Agreed.
fiat. When this thing happened, I'll be honest, I didn't bat an eye. I don't give a fuck what happens. Every day, my exposure to Bitcoin increases, and my exposure to fiat and my reliance on fiat decreases as a result. And I hope everybody out there is in the same position I am, or trying to be in the same position I am. Because when you do that, when you watch shit like this transpire, this stuff impacts the people that are neck deep or more in fucking fiat. Fuck them. They're gonna react to this. Like I said, it's paper hands. It's funny to watch. 1 minute it's great. The next minute, everything is burning.
Fired.
You know what? Nothing is. Somebody got fired as a result. And nothing has changed in the end. The amount of Bitcoin I have doesn't actually. It's gone up slightly, but I'm very happy that I have my Bitcoin and all this. I'm so fucking happy. I'm watching this thing transpire. It is just for me. It's like watching TV show. It's like watching a movie. It's just drama for me. It's just keeping me entertained. That's really all it is. And it should be for the majority of you, unless your job is dependent on fiat. And in that case, I feel bad for you. But if you are not, if you're able to disconnect as much as possible from it, great. This kind of stuff is just fucking fun to watch. To see this guy react like this, fuck it. It's funny.
It is funny. You're getting some support from a couple of nobodies in the chat. I'm not going to mention their names.
I don't care who supports me, but I like the people that do support me. That guy in the beginning of the chat, I like that guy. That guy was a real clown, Mr.
Oh man. Man.
Good to have you back, Mr. Tiga.
Where do you come down on I guess the like does it matter that the data now is being called into question by a lot more people? I mean,
everything
not
should
certain
be in
people.
question,
Like I heard,
Joey.
I know, but I heard like
everything.
People like Nick Timmeros and Steve Leisman are never going to question the data. I'll tell you that. But like
you know
other
what?
people, I don't know.
Joey, when you're talking about who controls the currency? You have a select few people that control. We can't audit the supply. We have no idea how much is in circulation, and we have no idea how much will be in circulation tomorrow. Next, like there's so much information here that it impacts people's lives. It impacts their salary, impacts their wages, impacts their pension, impacts everything. And it's just because a few people are deciding to pull, as you call, some levers to fuck around with the valuation of money. Fuck it. You know, it's too bad. They've had this fucking thing for how long? Since 1971. Actually, you could even say before that, because people like you and I, Joey, could not transfer our USD for gold. It was 100 years ago. Almost 100 years ago was the last time we were able to do that. 71 is just the time when nation states couldn't do that. It's fucking bullshit. This thing it was gonna fucking collapse. We're watching this thing collapse, and it's fun to watch collapse at the same time. You know, all of us should give ourselves a pat on the back and say we were fucking right, because we were. Yeah, every one of us were right. We're watching this thing
Do you hear people in your normie life talk about like, oh, did you see Trump fired that?
No, I talk my normie life.
Yeah,
and I say this to my wife. I say this. I talk as much of Bitcoin as possible to make myself as obnoxious as possible, so nobody fucking talks to me. The people that do want to talk to me, they're interested in Bitcoin, and all the more power to them. But if you're, that's the way I do it, and I love it. Me and
Len at work are in the same.
I built a fucking fortress.
We're in the same office area. Sometimes we talk over the cubicle dividers to each other about Bitcoin.
I live in this bubble, and I love it. And I hope everybody is going to be as serenity now as I am.
That's right.
Right? Like, let's move on, because there's lots more to talk about. This UK bill, this online safety
crazy
absolute mess. Yeah. I don't want to talk about the specifics of the act, but there's one particular thing that's going on that I want to point and say this is fucking bullshit, and we should say that we should stop this kind of thing. I've learned this past week some British MPs have been using VPNs for some time, right? They're probably use this to bypass some of the restrictions right now, but I guess time will tell. But the interesting thing about this, Joey, they were expensing this bullshit to the taxpayers.
All that?
No, it was like NordVPN, ExpressVPN. It was the shitty ones. Yeah. And including, like, it's not just MPs, including senior government ministers. So like people fucking senior there, they were using and charging the subscription to the public. And they said the business secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, he expensed 2 years of his NordVPN starting from April 2024. Also, the Labour MP Sarah Champion, what a name, by the way, who in 2022 urged that the then Conservative government to examine if widespread VPN usage amongst teenagers could undermine the protection afforded by age checks. Fuck you. Fuck you. Then the government, they say they have no plans to ban VPN, which create a secure encrypted connection over the internet, but they're closely monitoring how young people use it. Fuck you. You guys are fucking using it and charging the public for you to fucking use it. They say that VPN usage has skyrocketed since the Online Safety Act has come into effect. Makes fucking sense. Some person on X couldn't even look at the images that he himself posted because he didn't verify himself. He posted the images. Why should he have to go through the whole process to verify who the fuck he is to see the images that he fucking posted? This makes no fucking sense. But the people in charge there, they'll be happy to use VPNs, not only happy to use it, fucking charge the taxpayers for the privilege for them to use it. And they say that, you know what, we're going to look at potentially look at monitors for young people. Fuck this. Like, this is a two-tiered system. That's why, again, I go back to Bitcoin. I love fucking Bitcoin because it takes away a lot of that fucking power. Just, you don't have it anymore. We have it. Node runners, shit like that. Fuck this. This is it. This whole actually is a piece of fucking shit. But it's coming to a country near you.
Did you see that some kids came up with a AI-based website where you can punch in your postal code in the UK and it'll give you an AI-generated version of your MP's face and MP's driver's license you can use to age verify?
Oh, that's incredible.
Is that not the best thing you've heard?
That's incredible.
I love it. That's great. Yeah, good. I guess. I don't know. What else can we say?
I can say this is gonna come.
If you want to find out more about this, go to the Access of Easy podcast and sign up for that newsletter, because we did talk about this, I think, last week or the week before, and we probably will talk about it again on Thursday if I had to guess, because it's a developing story. It starts, of course, with the 4 horsemen of the infopocalypse, I think is the name of the or the nomenclature that the sort of cypherpunks would use. How are we going to lock down the internet? Drug dealers, money launderers, pedophiles, and terrorists. And you can put anyone in those 4 categories, and before you know it, criticizing migrant hotels is illegal, and someone comes to your door and asks if you got a license for that tweet, and it's only a matter of time, man. Only a matter of time.
So that whole sub network that Jack Dorsey's building,
BitChat, right? That one?
BitChat, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
And it shows that there is a case use for this. Not to say that.
Do you know how it works though? Like, it's really hard. It's really, really hard for it to work like in your home. You might be able to talk to your wife in your own home if you both have it.
It's similar to way like the
it's like low frequency
pods.
Bluetooth. It's low frequency Bluetooth. Basically, it's a mesh network they use. It used to be called Fire Chat back in the day. That was the name of the app that had the same thing. But even at music festivals, I tried to use Fire Chat, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot more than people think. I wish Jack Dorsey would focus on the price of his stock, to be honest with you, but that's a story for another time.
Do you know that Block, according to Predator, Block self-custodies the Bitcoin net which they own?
Huge.
And of that,
on a
Coinbase,
maybe.
Probably, right? They're going to use their own product.
Yeah.
Top 10 companies that have Bitcoin,
8
of them, they're responsible for doing custody. So 2 of them do self-custody, I think. We couldn't find this, like Block being one of them. Who's the second one? And a lot of people were saying Tesla.
Yeah, maybe. So, I don't know. I have to look at that list.
But this, good for Block for self-custodying their Bitcoin, but like, how's their stock doing? I don't even.
Me neither. I sold that demon stock a long time ago.
Wonderful. Anyways, Canada. Some news came out this past week, and it's showing that maybe Canada's heading in the right direction. Maybe. At national auto theft trends, apparently they're down 19% in the
Tell my insurance company that.
That's exactly it. So the fact that it's going down, apparently, does your insurance go down? If not, why is it going up? Or is it staying the same?
Did I tell you what happened with my car insurance?
No.
So in an environment where, the newspaper's telling you things are down 25% in terms of thefts, my insurance company wants to add $1,000 to my premium next year for my wife's car. My wife drives a CRV, and they say it's a high theft car. And I asked them, I said, show me the data that tells you that in my jurisdiction, it's high theft. It for sure is high theft, where the third world hordes are stealing cars and sending them over in shipping containers to God knows where. But it ain't that way where I am. Why should I have to pay for that? These people they're stealing money from you. And now this report comes out too. That's pretty funny. I think that's good timing.
Take this information to your insurance.
I'm just going to leave the insurance company and go somewhere else.
Or just don't even pay for insurance and drive.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. We know a guy who does that. I don't recommend it.
I can't believe. I know, me neither. It just takes one crippling injury.
You slide on some black ice, and someone sees you, and before you know it, you got problems, man.
Yeah. And apparently, I don't know. We'll go on. Anyways, for this whole insurance stuff, the organization that ran the report say that it's down. They say that back in 2021 to 2023, Canada was facing, quote, a national crisis.
Oh, yeah.
When it came to car theft.
Don't you remember the stories about rail yard operators not being allowed to go into the rail cars, even though people are saying look, I have this air tag on my phone. My car's in this rail car. They're like,
doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Poliev was talking about. I have a theory now. I think now we've come to a point where all the desirable cars have been stolen and shipped abroad, and we're now left with the shitty cars that nobody want to fuck, the jalopies of the world, and that's we're stuck driving, and as a result, theft is going down, but also cars breaking down in the road are going way up as a result.
Tow truck wars are heating up all over the 400s.
Can't get around that one. So there you go. End of summer's coming.
Yeah.
right? I'm going to shed a tear because
Six weeks, something like that, I guess. Middle of September.
Well, the CNE is just around the corner. It's about less than a month away. And that's the annual CNE. And with that comes some jobs. Around 5,000 jobs are being staffed. Already 1,000 looks like it's been taken. So 4,000 are left. And so 54,000 people showed up to apply for those 5,000, now 4,000 jobs. Holy fuck. And in terms of number go up, did you lose me or am I okay?
You okay?
Okay. And in terms of number go up, so 54,000 applied this year. Last year, 37,000 people applied. The year before,
That's
18,000.
a huge jump. Oh my
And 18,000 the year before that.
God.
So as you could see, the demand for these types of positions is going up through the roof.
Jeez.
And along with the number go up is also youth unemployment, which is also going through the roof. I feel bad for people that are trying to get entry level jobs just to give them a little bit of money. This is just a temporary position.
It's a 2-week job, right? How long CNE open for? 2 weeks,
maybe
3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, not 3, but yeah, I mean maybe with training, who the fuck knows? But yeah, like this is just a band-aid. It gives you a little bit of extra money for just before you start school, I guess. And so many people want it. Sad state.
What can you really say about this? That there's no desirable jobs at the CNE, none. No jobs that are like career building for anyone under, I don't know, 17, 16, 17. But when you look at the videos where it shows who's applying for these jobs, you see a lot of exactly what you think you're going to see if you've been watching these sorts of videos for the last year or two. And it's disappointing. It's very sad that this is going on, but it's costing kids opportunities to develop what used to be critical skills for employment. I don't know if they still are, but like people skills and stuff like that, I think they're harder and harder to find for kids, and it's contributing to a lot of issues in society, and it's going to continue to get worse, unfortunately, at least for the next few years.
I think a lot of it has to do with the study permits that have been
obviously. Of course, it's
Conestoga College is going to be, and we can talk about Conestoga because I know you were on a personal crusade against them not too long ago, and it's valid.
There's a clip on Tom and Nick's Instagram that has like, it's got like 1 million views and that like 5,000 shares, something like that. I am positive that the Conestoga brass saw me railing Conestoga on the Your Life, Your Terms podcast. That was, I had the data.
Fuck them, you know, they reportedly had a surplus of $250 million last year. That's an incredible amount of money.
Yeah.
Surplus they have. Like this is.
Do you know how many
would die to have?
Do you know how many domestically born, like Canadian born students Conestoga had in 2023? It's either 23 or 24. Don't quote me. They have 20,000 or so, 25,000 or so kids total enrolled there. And how many do you think were Canadian born? It was just 23 or 24.
It was just 2023. So
2023. You have the chart. You have the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull it up. Show it. Do you know how to do screen share?
No, I have it in text format.
Okay.
So it's basically a 10-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. For every 10 international students, you have 1 domestic student. And the school was set up, majority of it, through taxpayers' money. So
got it.
The people that are trying to attend it, most likely their parents and their grandparents, their taxation dollars was used to help establish and pay for this school. And now they're going ahead and it's just strictly for profit, right? They could get way more money by having an international student come here. But what are the impacts of this? They don't give a fuck.
Obviously.
They got their $250 million surplus. If they start saying that they're going to go to a Bitcoin treasury company, is this going to be like a good thing? Are we going to applaud them for this? Either way, I'd say fuck them.
They never built housing for the area there. I don't think Conestoga contributed to any infrastructure, housing, transit, nothing. I know
they were building their own housing.
I also know that the Conestoga president during all this stuff built a wing of the school and named it. he named it after himself. So that was pretty good. And yeah, Boomer in the chat. Remember the video I showed? What did you learn at Conestoga? I learned how to cut vegetables. It seems like a not a great thing to learn if you traveled 1,300 miles to 13,000 miles, whatever it is, to learn that skill. Like maybe you want to
well, you have to give
recalibrate.
them credit, because the alternative is they'll learn street food, how to prepare that. So
They'll be
cutting
on
vegetables in a
Instagram.
sanitary environment, or at least a sanitary way of doing it, maybe this information can be shared with other people.
Do you
And then
hear
the
that?
street food-
Did you hear that sound? That was our monetization.
I don't say where the street food is. I say just in general street food, right? Okay, let's talk about this story from Global News.
Sure.
And the title is Extremist Influencers Weaponizing Femininity,
Love this.
warns Canadian intelligence report. They say women workout routines that devolve into anti-government rhetoric, makeup tutorials with anti-feminist commentary, personal finance videos that blame immigrants for stealing jobs. And according to a Canadian government intelligence report obtained by Global News, they say extremist movements are weaponizing femininity on social media to attract more women into their ranks. And this report, for people that want to know who did it, was prepared for the Integrated Threat Assessment Center. And the report warns that female extreme influencers are using popular online platforms to radicalize and recruit women. These are all words. He's not
Len's
lying.
laughing. You guys can't see if you're on audio. Len is trying not to laugh reading.
Oh no, I copied and pasted this. Like, so nobody could blame me for putting my own. This is straight
Your
copy
Honor,
and paste.
Clearly in the
Global
video,
News.
Len is just reciting the story.
Yes. There you go. I love seeing like this story. So yeah, they're using women to radicalize people. Good stuff.
I showed this to my wife. She had a laugh about it. That as if mommy bloggers are driving people to become the new Hitler Youth. I doubt it. I think what they're actually mad about is a lot of women now are realizing that maybe they don't want to go to work 40 hours a week and contribute to GDP. Maybe they want to stay home. Maybe that's actually what they should have been doing the whole time in some cases. I won't speak for every woman, but watching the way my wife's thinking has changed since we had our little one, I can say that it's a very interesting phenomenon to watch a career woman go back to what I've started calling the factory default settings. I think they're mad that mommy bloggers who are staying home are realizing that when they take their kids to school, there's, it's 50% kids who can't speak English, and 100% of those kids' parents can't speak English. And there's, what many are starting to realize are radical social causes being parroted and supported in the classroom as opposed to math and literature. I don't think these things are extreme views. It's funny talking to Stockwell a couple of weeks ago, when I brought up some stuff about immigration and other, social hot button issues around certain ideologies, let's say, just to protect our necks here a bit. He agreed that these things are really common sense views that are just now becoming shareable in what used to be spaces where you couldn't say stuff like that. Schools is a great example of this. The article points to a few other things that I won't get into, but this is the same. It's not the same outfit, but it's an adjacent outfit to the RCMP, obviously. And the RCMP said a few weeks ago that someone who suddenly goes from thinking that women should be working and need to have a job and, raising kids is not that important, to thinking that women should stay home and raise the family and be homemakers is a sign that someone has become an online extremist. I mean, these people, they don't know how they sound, I don't think. More and more people feel this way. And what we've seen from families that are successful and kids that are successful. And by the way, this came up today actually with a friend of mine and his wife, where we were swimming with our kids. I think a lot of people realized that things started to go downhill when both parents started working full time and had to give their kids to schools and had to give their kids to daycares and things like this. I think a lot of people realize that now.
What time that was? What year?
I told them, I said, listen, if you ever want to hear about 1971, just come on over. I'll get the tall boys. You just sit on the couch and we'll go through. I got all the charts. I got everything. I'm ready.
So it seems like when you break money, when money, it could be political, could be weaponized, could be a political tool.
Yeah.
right? And that's when things changed. Whatever.
I mean, we're preaching to the converted on this show, but
yeah, no, it's just
it's interesting. The thing to keep in mind here, like the signpost, like I like to say, is that these things are becoming prevalent enough in spaces that are public that the government feels like they have to say something about it, which they don't, of course. It's not extreme to hold these views. These views are rational and natural and in my opinion, correct. If you have the opportunity to stay home and raise your family, you should. I plan on giving my wife that opportunity if I can, and I think everyone should do the same.
Okay, so Carney came out this past week, and he's saying that Canadians will be our own best customers, creating more well-paying careers at home. They want to try to.
Is he talking about the CNE? How many CNEs are we planning on opening? Can we have more than one national exhibition? Maybe one in like every city or one in every town or...
No, the problem with what he's trying to achieve
if the one just travels every week to a new town, do we count those 50,000 jobs in every new town?
It's still not enough. Like you need
I don't know.
There's not enough new towns to go to.
So our GDP per capita goes up or down when everyone is just slinging candy apples all year. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well,
check
middle
the quality.
class.
Can we get to check on the quality of life index there? Is that going to help me with home ownership?
Middle class drives a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
It's not the people that don't have. It's not the people that do have, because the people that do have spend, but the people that don't have, obviously they're not going to be able to. It's the middle class, but they've been continually wrecked for years and years and years and years. And now with the cost of everything going up, the cost of food going up, the cost of transportation, owning a car, rent, mortgage, all this, it just continually eats away at how much people could spend. And they're spending more just to survive and less just for recreation. And if you want to have people spend to try to prop up the economy, I don't know if it's possible just by focusing a lot on Canadians. Now, another thing I want to point at is this idea about having Canadians as our own best customer. There is a country out there that has this type of mentality. And you heard the term, and I'm going to fucking butcher it. Juche?
No.
How
do you spell that? How do you spell that?
Juche.
Okay, no.
It's a North Korean word that was made up, I believe. And it was self-reliance. It's basically doing everything within house. And so you're able to make the country stronger without relying on anybody else. The problem with work in North Korea, obviously, they don't have enough resources to go around. They have to eventually import shit, fuel, and food, you name it.
Right.
But it sounds like they're trying to use that same type of philosophy here. Now, it's possible. We do have a lot to offer ourselves and even to the world, fresh water, energy, you name it. So it might be possible, but like I mentioned, the people that would be driving us to middle class, they don't have the ability to do it anymore. It's done. And it's going to get worse moving forward. So
that's interesting. Yeah, it's a good comment about the middle class. You're right.
And they got to bring the shit, like a lot of the goods, a lot of the natural resources, a lot of whatever. It's got to be brought to market for other people to buy. Because we're not going to be able to consume it. We're not going to be able to process it to a large degree. It's got to be other countries doing it. And I know we're trying to cozy up to Europe. And incredibly, there's a poll going around. A lot of people are saying they want to join the European
I don't believe those polls. I don't think people realize what they're voting for or against. And by the way, we offered the European Union 20 billion plus some other stuff to join that trade, and they turned us down, right? People don't understand anything about what voting to join the European Union or whatever. They're stupid. Canadians are dumb. They don't understand what they're looking at. And plus those polls, like, who are they asking? The people who are wearing elbows up t-shirts in line to vote, like those people don't know anything. They don't understand economics. They don't understand trade. They don't understand. And by the way, how many of those people know that Europe made a trade deal without us? The prime minister, to his credit at the time, went overseas to try and bolster those relationships when he became the leader of the party and when he became the prime minister in the face of the Trump ghoul. And how'd it go? Europe made a deal without him. You got outgunned, man. And, I think Canadians got to start thinking like, oh, what happened here? Are we really going to pretend that we're holding any cards at this table? It doesn't seem like it.
All right. Got the Hamilton versus Brampton man segment.
Wrapping up. Are we going to talk about the sponsor for this segment?
We don't have one yet.
Not yet. Next week we'll talk about it. Okay.
If things work out. Anyways, you have the Brampton man versus the Hamilton men. For people that want to play at home, you can. And I'd love to know if you could guess the right person here. So until
did Boomer get this last week?
It was a 3-way dance. We did Ottawa versus Hamilton versus Brampton men.
Man.
So I had to do that considering where he's from. So yeah, so the only way people could play at home is to listen and do it. Like once the board game gets
I gotta turn off
monetizing
the comments here. I gotta turn off the comments.
Oh no, come on.
No, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them when we're playing.
But somebody else could see them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first one we have is a 39-year-old man. He made headlines because he tried to impress guests at a family barbecue with homemade fireworks display. And according to a report, the man, eager to celebrate Canada Day, set up a makeshift launch pad in his backyard using a metal bucket and discount fireworks purchased at a pop-up stand. And midway through his grand finale, one rocket misfired, landing in a neighbor's inflatable pool, causing a small fire, sending guests scrambling. Police and firefighters responded. They extinguished the blaze, no injuries. The man was described as overly enthusiastic by neighbors, apologized profusely, and he offered free food to the crowd to calm them down. So that's the story.
Where do you get the fireworks? Can I get some details on that?
Yeah, from a pop-up stand.
But we don't know where?
Specifically, no.
Okay. Wasn't in Caledonia? Okay, keep going.
The second one we have is a 32-year-old man was picked up by police for allegedly stealing a shopping cart from a local store, a local grocery store, and trying to barter it for a 6-pack of craft beer at a nearby pub. The man was out there. He was seen pushing the cart loaded with recycling cans through the streets, and he was loudly proclaiming that was his mobile brewery fund. And the pub staff alerted police when he offered a cart, claiming it was vintage and worth at least a stout. Officers found him sipping on a stolen IPA with the cart parked outside like a trophy. Now faces charges, and there we go. So we have the guy that had the homemade fireworks, versus the guy that had the shopping cart that he stole and tried to barter it for craft beer. So
this is Hamilton versus Brampton?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I am going to guess that only because Hamilton has a lot of craft breweries, I think the craft brewery guy is probably Hamilton. And also because it seems to me like Brampton has a lot of Indians, and it seems to me like Indians are setting off fireworks just all the time, no matter what the day of the week is. So it's only a matter of time until there's some kind of mishap. And it sounds like this guy finally became a statistic. And also to the credit of the Indian population, always tons of food at Indian get-togethers.
So you're correct.
He probably had extra food.
So yeah, so the first one, the fireworks definitely was the Brampton man, and the guy trading his stolen shopping cart was the Hamilton man. The guy with the first one, the Brampton guy, he was offering free food to guests. In fact, he was offering samosas to everybody as well.
Okay.
I had to take that one. The second guy, he was actually sporting a Tiger Cat's cap and cargo shorts when he was seen pushing his cart around the streets.
What brewery was he at? Do you know?
Doesn't say.
Too bad. Too bad. That's great. I love that. Great segment.
More to come.
I love it. That's it for tonight, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Come back Wednesday. Dr. Ahmed Amoos going to be in the house. We're talking. We're talking health, talking all kinds of stuff, and you'll enjoy it. So come back. We'll see you then. Until next time, take care of yourselves.
Take care.